Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are opening a series of interviews dedicated to what project management looks like when it's not in your job title. Because let's be honest, a lot of people manage projects from day to day without necessarily calling them project managers. And today, I'm really happy to start this series of interviews and to be joined by Ksenia Rodionova, a founder of ESAlogika, Environmental Social Association of Barcelona, a community-rooted non-profit organization that creates collaborative events to promote a sustainable future for the city and beyond. Even though Ksenia's role doesn't say necessarily project manager, she is constantly coordinating people, timelines, and deliverables to make things happen. Ksenia, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
To start off, let's talk about what is your typical day look like, okay? So if you could share this with the audience.
Yeah. So our nonprofit organization is completely made of a voluntary team. So all of us are volunteers. We work different schedules and in some cases even remotely from other countries. And because of that, what we mostly do is we communicate around the clock with each other using things like WhatsApp and email. And we pass on different information to each other or various projects or various ongoing materials that we're working on and communicate about that. And although there's no clear kind of day-to-day structure, but we do have some structures in place to help us keep track of things and to help us to manage our team and to understand where things are at, what needs doing. And that we're still learning, of course, but to get to the point where we're at took a lot of trial and error, and we continue improving our processes.
Okay, that sounds very interesting, but let's dig a bit more into that. You have mentioned that you handle projects. So let's just remind our audience what is a project. It's a temporary endeavor that usually has a start and end date. Can you please share which kind of projects or initiatives you're actually handling at ESAlogika with all the volunteers that you have mentioned?
Yeah, we have a few different ongoing tasks and ongoing projects of such that we're keeping track of. And I want to focus on a couple of things, although there are other things that we're doing too. But I want to mention our website, which started off as a task and turned into a project. And the other thing I will talk about are the most visible events that we host. And we do them once every 2 months. And one event is a project of itself, where we would find a speaker, we would reserve the venue, we would coordinate all of the details about the event, of course, create the topic and the theme and the content of the talk itself together with the speaker, and everything around the event as well, because our events are quite collaborative. They have their own structure to them that are a little bit different to a regular talk event. We do a bit of talking and a bit of playing, a bit of communicating in a non-formal way as well as a more formal way. So there are lots of different elements. So in order to make it run smooth, we do a lot of preparation before the event. And in order to do that efficiently and effectively, we also rely on a lot of tools and strategies. Maybe less tools, because the tools we use are relatively simple, but it's more about having a smooth process that we've developed that we now fall back on. At the beginning, it was a lot of trial and error, and now we're just perfecting little things at this point. So that took some time to get here.
Okay, I would like to ask you a little bit more about the strategies and tools that you have mentioned. Let's focus first on the tools. So in order to make those two initiatives happen, the website and the talks, the monthly talks that I had an opportunity to attend several times, they are very well organized. Congratulations on that also from my part. Yeah, which kind of tools you're using to keep all things on track, basically, so that when you need to contact the speaker, who is the speaker, and so on, and how do you share this among your colleagues, your volunteers?
Sure. As I mentioned, the tools that we're using, there's nothing overly fancy about them. And I also want to, we're not getting paid by them, I promise, but I do want to shout out to Google and Canva, because we do get the full business subscription for free as a nonprofit. So these two organizations have definitely helped us a lot to be able to rely on their tools without it being too costly for us. Other things we use are, of course, Instagram for communicating and for maintaining audience base. We also use Meetup for visibility as well. And it helps us to also increase our, not only the number of attendees, but also the different types of people who can attend our events. So different demographics, different nationalities, even visitors who are in Barcelona temporarily often drop by our events. So that's actually pretty exciting because it gives us a much wider outreach.
If you think about it, the things that you have mentioned about Instagram and outreach, it's actually already like a separate project from the usual Tapa Talks, or it's like a sub-project of the Tapa Talks, because yeah, it also includes a lot of tasks. What I'm trying to understand is how you manage that between your team. I know that you said that you're using Google, but yeah, like for instance, for task management, how do you track them? How do you track the deadlines and so on? How do you share the information between each other as well to make those things happen?
So we have long-term volunteers and we have short-term volunteers. Those who are long-term, they have their own login information to the same joint Google account. So everyone has access to our Google Drive and our email as well. So that also took some playing around with, but we've managed to give everybody access to the same inbox. And we don't have any secrets from each other. That's actually very convenient because it allows us to then split the general inbox into the different sections depending on which sub-team is working on what. So for Tapa Talks, which is the name of the events, we have things that we're currently working on, past events, and things that need follow-up on. So we split it into that. And then those who are working on this or who are waiting for specific emails, they can easily access that. And we have that for social media. We have that for lots of other things that we have going on. So that's just simple, organization of inbox, but it definitely plays a big role in helping us keep things clear. Now, same with Google Drive, very important, all the folders. We have things that are labeled also with little emojis, because emojis help create associations so that we remember which folder is for what.
That's a nice tip that I will also take into my practice.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
It also gives a little bit of playfulness to the work. What else? Yeah, so we use spreadsheets too, of course, where we tag people for anything that needs following up or anything that is like a deadline that's coming up. And for Tapa Talk specifically, we have a very clear spreadsheet where all the tasks are divided into stages, like sprints. And then for every stage, we have also these kind of pivotal tasks, meaning that only once this one is complete, then we can move on to the next batch. So those pivotal tasks are highlighted in red, and we make sure that we have a very clear deadline for those. And We also have a system where we have one person in charge and one person who's like a backup in case the person in charge is not able to complete that deadline. And those things happen all the time.
So in a way, you also use like the dependencies, and you have mentioned sprints, so it's like an agile methodology. So that's really great to hear that you are already applying some project management practices, maybe even without realizing it really. You have also mentioned that you use some strategies to involve your volunteers. Maybe you can also talk about that. Using emoji is also a good strategy, but I'm sure you have much more like tips to share with our audience.
I would say when it comes to people, it's less about strategies and more about emotional intelligence, because we need to be able to communicate, understand each other. Even if we think or do things in a different way, we need to find ways to complement each other's strengths rather than have this as a base for conflict. So conflict resolution, I think, is a very important skill, but even one step before, how to prevent conflict is really important. And in a team that's completely voluntary, you can't rely on things like salary and bonuses to motivate. Again, we have to go back to the basics and what motivates people intrinsically. Why do the volunteers want to be part of this project? And for each person, it's going to be something different, because every individual is an individual. So we need to find together what they, when I say they, every person is looking for, what are they also learning through the process, and they might be learning about themselves as much as I am learning about them. So sometimes we put people in charge of certain tasks, and then over time they shift roles. In fact, that happens more often than not, that people shift roles over time, and that's perfectly normal and actually very helpful in a dynamic environment, because then people can really feel things out and then find their spot that feels more comfortable. And also over some time, maybe once they've learned a specific task really well, and then they're bored of it and they want to try something new. So that's also important, to give people the chance to grow, not only within their role, but also grow to other roles too.
These are really great strategies and values that you have in the team. But anyway, in projects, some things can go wrong, and they usually go wrong. Maybe I would like you to remember now some time when things went wrong with the project and how you handled it and what you learned about your team and maybe about yourselves and maybe about the association as well. If you could also share it with us.
Yeah, we have discovered that by preparing ourselves for the unexpected, or expecting things to not go according to plan, is the best strategy, because there are often things that play out completely differently, like when we expect that the venue will be overbooked, but instead we have less than half show up, or the other way around, we think that it's going to be quiet, but actually turns out really busy. When someone from our team is absent from an event, that's important to be able to prepare for that, because otherwise we're missing a key person. Every individual has tasks assigned to them at the venue. That means that if they're not there, someone else has to be flexible enough to take over some things. And we use the same strategy of assigning like a key person in charge and a backup. So that's one way we go around that. As for venue, we also strategically place the chairs around so that we still have space for moving around, but at the same time, so that people are placed in mini groups. And we do that in advance because, of course, once people arrive, it's too late to move things around. We also have a few extra chairs for those who come in late, because there's always people who come in late. And in order to prevent disturbing the speaker and disturbing the whole talk in that moment, we have those extra chairs so that people can quietly sit at the back. And lots of little things like that we've learned on the go. But I think probably one of the trickiest things to adjust to would be if the speakers cancel last minute. And for that, we also have a couple of topics and themes up our sleeve that we can host in the moment ourselves, because as a team of volunteers in environmental and social sustainability themed association, we're all mini experts in the topic too. So there are many things that we can share with our audience that would bring value as well. So we try to keep ourselves a little bit on our toes in case we need to manage something that's outside of our kind of prediction.
That sounds that you have a pretty thought risk management plan, what you said just now. So it's also a part of the project management. It's great to be prepared, but yeah, of course, there will be always things that you will continue learning. That's a part of the process as well of managing projects and new initiatives. And now I would like to ask you, I know that you have mentioned that the two major projects that you, or initiatives that you're having, is the Tapa Talks, the monthly talks that you're having with different speakers on sustainability topics, and then the website. Maybe you want to talk about one of them again, or you want to maybe mention an initiative or a project that you're also running right now, or maybe you have managed and that really motivated you, gave you hope, was really special for you, something like a highlight of the association activities.
That's a tough one. Something that I do really enjoy is workshops, and we organize workshops for our members. So our membership is a smaller group. Those are even more dedicated group of people who not only attend our Tapa Talks, which is open to everyone in the community, but when I say community, just in Barcelona in general, everyone's welcome to come to Tapa Talks, and they're free, so it's very open and inclusive. And well, there are some costs that we have. One of the ways that we cover them is through membership pricing, and it's very cheap, but it's still a form of dedication that when members do sign up, we know that they want to support us in practice, not only by coming to the free events, but also by giving us some physical support. And so what we offer to them are more carefully designed workshops in a smaller group environment. And these people are usually the ones who have a lot to say on the topic and want to kind of exchange ideas in a way that they can build on each other's thoughts. And I enjoy very much designing those workshops for them and with them, because that's how we really can build something bigger together. I really do believe in that kind of collaborative solution pathway. And yeah, every event that we do, which is monthly, we do these member meets every month. We discuss with the team in our team meetings what we can do this month. Sometimes we host visits to venues that are relevant to a talk that we held the previous month, or it's just something that recently came up and we want to give it a try. So there's a little bit of experimentation. We do picnics, we do visits, we do something more active like mini hikes or even cleans. But in general, they're usually workshops. Yeah, so these are fun because they're a little bit more experimental on our side, and also we discuss different ideas, and then we also find ways that work best.
Okay, they sound like interesting initiatives. I haven't yet actually participated, but yeah, probably in a workshop. And we will certainly leave the details of the ESAlogika in the description to this video so that people that are in Barcelona can actually also browse and join one of the TAPA talks and maybe one of the workshops or other initiatives that you're having. And people that are not from Barcelona can also go and get inspired maybe about the things that you do, the great things that you do. With that, we will start to wrap up our discussion. Thank you so much, Ksenia, for sharing your insights and experiences. It's really inspiring. And it's such a good reminder that project management is really about making things happen, which is you're actually doing that every month and in every initiative that you are trying to implement. So thanks for joining us today, Ksenia. And thanks everyone for listening and watching. I hope this conversation sparks a new appreciation for all the quiet, behind the scenes project management that keeps everything running smoothly. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming talks. Next time, we will talk to the professional in an NGO that is supporting refugees and displaced people in Spain. See you next time. Thank you, Ksenia, and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.